evening, and I'll say good evening to Nigerians. Basically, I will say that I'm not going to comment on the bill in the House of Representatives because the case is right now before the court of law, and it will be sub judice for me to speak on it. But I can speak on the bill in the Senate because the bill in the Senate is a conjoined twin with the one in the House of Representatives. They all have the same characteristics, the same details, so to say. And I want to say that that bill is anti-people, that bill is anti-God, that bill is satanic, that bill will infringe on the fundamental right of Nigerians, and myself inclusive. And it is so laughable that the National Assembly did not take a detailed look at that bill because Section 74 of the bill in the Senate is actually delegating the powers of amending laws and that act itself to the minister. I mean, that is like the National Assembly now, or the Senate in specific terms, relinquishing their powers to amend laws to a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I think that is laughable. That bill will take away the fundamental rights of Nigerians. And people have been saying that you cannot actually stop a bill until it is passed. And I said it is not true. If for those who are lawyers, they will know that there is a case of A.G. Bendel versus Attorney General of the Federation in 1981, where the Supreme Court held that the issue of legislative processes starts with the first reading of a bill, and that despite the fact that the powers of the National Assembly to make laws is predicated upon the provisions of the Constitution, it must be in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And that powers to make law must also not conflict with Section 46(1) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which says that anywhere the fundamental rights of individuals is going to be breached or likely to be breached, not even when it is breached, that every Nigerian have the powers to approach the court of law. And that is exactly what we are doing. And I can tell you that
if I may come in quickly on what you raised, sorry, apologies, you raised the issue on fundamental human rights of Nigerians, and you raised the issue on the Section 74 of that bill. That bill is talking about the powers of the minister. It does not look like it talks about infringing on the rights of citizens. Is there any other areas you think that is against the rights of citizens in your objections?
I will tell you, like I just told you, that over 80% of the sections of that bill definitely contravene the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, including the fundamental right of Nigerians. But in quick response to that, I will tell you that fundamentally the provisions of the Senate bill, if you look at that bill, section, sorry, I'm just going to come to that now. If you look at section 8, section 9, section 10 of that bill, section 5 of that bill talks about national emergency bill. Section 6 also will infringe on fundamental rights of Nigerians. Section 8 of that bill, in respect to forceful release of health information of citizens, also is an infringement on your fundamental right, because your medical informations and health informations are your personal informations, and no law can force you to relinquish that. Section 11 of that bill also provides for destruction
Senator,
of food, animals.
Sorry, if I may butt in quickly, have you read the infectious disease bill in the United Kingdom, for example?
I want to tell you that there is nowhere in the world, even in the Western world, that everything is allowed, that they have a draconian, satanic bill like this. I've gone through the bill right now that is being operational in the US, in Canada, in Germany, in the UK. None of them have affronted the rights of citizens like this, like the one put together by the National Assembly of Nigeria. It is so funny that even the right of the National Assembly to make laws and to amend laws was relinquished in that same bill to an appointee of the President, the Minister of Health. And too much power was arrogated to the Director General of NCDC, who have power to arrest, who have powers to arrest without warrants, who have powers to shut down any building. He has powers of exemption to exempt anybody, no matter who is concerned. And then where is the powers of the courts to grant warrants? Where are the power of the court to enforce arrest? All these have been taken away and unilaterally given.
Senator Melaye, if I may quickly ask you this.
Where the Director General deemed fit.
Yeah, I know you have a lot of friends in the National Assembly. These are your colleagues. Some of them are, in fact, Senator Utazi is a member of your party, the man who raised that bill, who moved that motion. Have you been able to relate with them to say, I'm a former member of the National Assembly, and these are my objections on the motion or the bill that is being proposed? Have you been able to relate with them on that?
I want to state that this bill has nothing to do with political party. This bill has nothing to do with being a former member of the National Assembly or a present member of the National Assembly. It has to do with the fundamental rights of Nigerians. It has to do with the fundamental right as Nigeria is a signatory to United Nations Charter on African and People's Rights. Nigeria is a signatory to African Charter on Human and People's Rights. So, and if we know that the fundamental human right, according to Section 4 of our Constitution, is not debatable, and Section 1.3 of the Constitution have said any law that is in conflict with the Constitution to the extent of inconsistency shall be null and void, then why are we bringing laws that will confront the fundamental rights of individuals? Section 16,
at this
Section
point,
17,
let me quickly also ask you, apologies, you understand, Senator, on the issue of separation.
Forceful vaccination. And the truth of the matter...
All right. I wanted to ask you about the issue of...
How can you be talking about forceful vaccination in this period?
Is that the senator said there was nothing like that. Senator Utazi said there's nothing like that in that bill.
There's nothing like what?
The forceful vaccination.
It is there, and it is written in black and white. Let Senator invite myself and Senator Utazi to a public debate, and we will dissect the bill. And I will tell you that Section 54(1)(b), Section 54(3)(b), Section 35(c), Section 3(1) of the bill, Section 28, 29, 43 of the bill, all are talking about forceful vaccination. And the brain behind this is Bill Gates. How can a man who is campaigning for depopulating the earth be the same person saying he wants to save the world through vaccine?
Senator Dinamalaye, you've just made a claim now that, can you substantiate the claim that you've just made? You just mentioned the name of a person that you are not able to validate or validate your claim as the relationship of the man and the bill you have raised now.
I can validate it by the exposures we have received, by the information we have received, that Bill and Melinda Gates are the ones campaigning year before now about depopulating the earth. And the same couple now talking about saving the world through vaccination. So I want you to look at the correlation. Does it add up?
If you say that, Senator Melaye, isn't that too dangerous to put the links? Now, when you're saying if that's what you claim that they are campaigning, but if you say they are the ones campaigning or they are the ones backing this bill, isn't that way too far? Have you been able to substantiate that they are directly behind this bill?
I have not said, excuse me, please. I have not said they are the ones backing the bill. But I can tell you that they have an interest because NCDC is being sponsored by the same people who are the sponsors of NCDC through the foundation that belongs to them. And
all right, Senator, before I allow you go, those are very strong claims that you are making, and unfortunately, you may not be able to substantiate. But let me ask you this: you believe in the issue of separation of powers?
I have not made any categorical claim. But what I'm telling you that there is inference that, and I still stand upon what I told you, that the man who is campaigning for depopulating the earth, I want to know, I want to be schooled, I want to understand how that same person is the one who wants to save the world through a vaccine.
All right, Senator, if you like, if you could answer the question that I asked so that we can conclude this conversation on this bill. You believe in the issue of separation of powers, isn't it?
Thank you.
Senator Melaye.
Sorry, I lost you there.
Yeah, I said you believe in the separation of powers.
Of course, as a lawmaker and as a law student, I believe in the separation of powers.
So, and you hope that the process of lawmaking, and you believe that the process of lawmaking can be impacted by an external influence, either by any other arm of government.
Section 4(8) of the Constitution is clear that the powers of the courts, in fact, they have jurisdiction over the laws that we make in the National Assembly. And that is why once there is a need for interpretation of those laws, you must go to the court to get exact interpretation for the law. The lawmakers cannot interpret the law they make. So what we have done is to go to those who have the constitutional powers to interpret the laws that the lawmaker make or in the process of making, and which is the court of law. And that's why we have gone there. So it is not interference with the powers of the legislature at all.
Senator Dino Melaye, I must sincerely thank you for your thoughts tonight and for coming on. Senator Dino Melaye, former lawmaker, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much.